All right. Hello. My name's Doug Meadows. I am the founder, visionary, and hero maker here at David Douglas Diamonds. And next year, it's actually December 2025, end of the month. It's actually in between Christmas and New Year's. And we're getting ready to embark upon our 100-year legacy of a family of jewelers starting in January. And I just wanted to kind of introduce what my heart's desire is about all this. There's just so much to say, and without hopefully boring you to death, but I heard a quote today of John Adams that just really kind of hit home to me, thinking of 100 years and all the generations before me, and then even moving forward. But John Adams said, "You will never know how much it costs the present generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you make good use of it. And I will never know what it cost my grandfather, my dad and uncles to help build this foundation of a jewelry business, and even into this generation and Joseph taking on it into the fourth generation. Joseph will never really know what the prior generations went through to provide the foundation that we have here today. And it's obviously changed over the years. My grandfather and my dad and uncles, they had what's called a trade shop. A trade shop is a fancy word for wholesale repair business. A lot of retail jewelers, and they still exist today, a lot of retail jewelers may not have a jeweler on staff or a jeweler that can do everything. And so they would send it off to a shop like my grandfather's to set the diamonds, size the rings, solder the chains, and then get it back to them so that they could service and take care of their customers. And so I look at myself as a third generation jeweler, but a first generation retailer. My intent with this is to share stories, hopefully on a weekly basis or in a timely basis throughout this coming year, 2026. So I'm not trying to jam everything all into one little tiny video here, but just kind of whet your appetite, hopefully, maybe, who knows, to tune back in every week or occasionally and just see what story we're sharing. The one thing I have discovered about the jewelry industry and our jewelry store is really at the end of the day, all we're selling is cold metal and hard rocks. But that cold metal and that hard rocks is transformed into something that you can celebrate or commemorate an event in your life. And that's one of the cool things about our industry, about our business, is that we get to be a part of people's lives from the beginning to the end, even before and even after, to celebrate and commemorate special events in your lives and stuff. And so I just wanted to take an opportunity to share and commemorate my legacy that I have been able to learn about, to discover, and that I'm still learning and discovering. And it was interesting. I was talking to another friend of mine, and we were talking about all this, and he said, "Doug, who's going to really care about your 100-year legacy?" He goes, "If the hardware store down the street was celebrating a 100-year anniversary, I could care less." And so I agreed with him. I mean, what more of a boring subject than to talk about a 100-year legacy? I think what got me excited was earlier in this year, I took a flight on Delta, and Delta is celebrating their 100-year anniversary in 2025. And it was so compelling and so drawing in. I know I do not have that type of a budget to create the type of emotions that Delta could do with their video and their storytelling. But if anything, this is really for me, just to be able to talk about and celebrate this, or maybe even later generations that may be able to view this, see it, and stuff. But I'd love for you to come with me along this journey, if you dare to, or would like to. I have no idea where this journey is going to take me or take us, but I hope it's educational, fun, entertaining. I don't know. I'm looking forward to sharing some interesting stories along the way. I'm hoping, and I know I'll talk him into it, I'll get Joseph in front of the camera a little bit to talk. But, there's so much to share and so much to talk about. And I'm really looking forward to our time together. And I'm getting to the point right now where I'm just kind of rambling. So I think it's time for me to call it a close. And we'll see what next week brings as I begin the official introduction of our 100 years, because then it will be 2026. And so I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully on a weekly basis. That is my intent, and we will share more with you then. Thank you.